Hello everyone, Pupsker here, and today we're gonna be talking about everyone's being mad at DE. One of the reasons people are pissed off is Wukong Prime. Wukong is probably going to get nerfed as Wukong is so insanely overused right now. Next one being the fact that AOE weapons like the Kuvazar are also so overused right now that it looks like Warframe DE is going to nerf them. That, along with Warframes like Grendel, Frost, and you know what, the list goes on, being so underused, underutilized, underpowered, and hated. Yeah, so people are a little angry. So hey, thought why not? Let's take a look at all of the angry comments, have a chat about it. You know, we'll cry together, love together, hate together. It'll be a beautiful moment, okay? In my first video of last week, I went over the AOE meta. Probably, you know, looks like it's gonna get nerfed in Warframe. Devs are aware of how overused and utilized AOE is right now, and I think it looks like they agree it's kind of a problem. And as always, remember, check me out on Twitch, on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, right? I'm doing that stuff. Yeah. People are mad. I just wanted to talk about the fact that, yeah, AOE is going to get nerfed, and, you know, people have a lot to say. People have a lot to say. People are good at modding, people do insane damage. You can get crazy things built off in Warframe. But let's take a look, right? There's nothing wrong with single target or AOE weapons in my opinion, just the fact the game is so kill-oriented with nothing else going on, and AOE favors that. Yeah, for sure. That to me is the biggest problem. It's high-level content, you want to kill things as fast as possible so you don't get overwhelmed, and I'm low-level stuff, you want to do the same to speed it up. What you do in the beginning could have been done with Thermal Sunder also. I mean, you can kill anything with everything in the game. That's the whole point. There's so much AOE with weapons, with Warframes, but it looks like they figured out that the AOE with all the weapons and everything, there's just so much visual noise and there's just so much clarity issues that it's just maybe not working out for them, but we'll have to see. In some game modes, having some kind of AOE is almost necessary. Yep, can't do some missions without them for sure, especially in Steel Path. Yeah, Warframe's gone to the point where it's awkwardly balanced, right? It's a weird game. It's weird and kind of annoying playing solo, especially in Steel Path, because everything targets you, and then you have to go with your own sort of build. But AOE is just the laziest and easiest way to get a ton of damage across on a ton of enemies all at once. Same with like Warframe AOE abilities. If Warframe AOE abilities all scaled up the insane way that some weapons could scale up, people would use them more. If they all scaled the way that Wukong's third ability scaled with damage, people would probably use them more because it just does so much damage. But that's the thing, everything's a little different. Unless they change AOE, things are probably gonna just, yeah, all work the same. Nerfing AOE is gonna make everyone else go back to melee. Yeah, I mean, probably a little bit, for sure. Maybe they'll increase some more general mods. So a lot of people are just yelling about it, though, to be fair. A lot of people have good opinions, a lot of people are just hating on DE, etc. Luckily, I think most of the like toxic shit gets pushed out, but if you just want to go through the comment sections, it's pretty crazy, because these videos talking about just general nerfs have the most dislikes out of any videos, just because like it talks about nerf. You can't nerf AOE in a vacuum. You have to tone down the amount of enemies we have to kill. Yeah, it's gonna be weird how they end up actually doing. And then yeah, people are talking about line of sight, embrace it fully. AOE on all weapons, embrace it fully. Something like stances for firearms, which is gonna reduce number of farm total and get every secondary has a firearm explosive ammo shot. Hell yeah. It is the core issues that Warframe is supposed to be a fast game with fast gameplay. It is true. Warframe is very fast. So like how do you get around the fact that you kind of need AOE, crazy amounts of damage and whatnot to kill everything and zoop through? Do they maybe want to slow down Warframe? Can they truly slow down Warframe other than maybe doing what they're doing in Duviri Paradox? Is it possible to truly slow down Warframe to the point where they want it? I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think AOE weapons are gonna be like nerfed or killed to the ground, okay? I don't think that, and I don't think Wukong is going to be completely nerfed or killed into the ground. I think most likely what's going to happen is they're going to just like do some small tweaks, number changes here and there to get them more in line or toned down. Or hell, maybe for Wukong they'll straight up just rework an ability or two. If DE nerfs AOE weapons, I don't know how to play Arbitration Defense anymore. You gotta remember, there's literally zero information about what any nerfs they may do will be. At this point, we just are aware that Warframe and DE are aware that AOE meta is getting out of hand. They're aware that the Wukong meta is getting out of hand. They're painfully aware of all that stuff being OP. That doesn't mean that they're gonna nerf it into the ground so you can never fucking use it, ever. Like, people in the comment sections are for some reason assuming a nerf means that like it's pretty much taken out of the game, and it baffles my mind that people for some reason so overshoot the idea of nerfs like that. Things that get nerfed all the goddamn time in patches, in updates, in hotfixes. If you read through a lot of patches, things are nerfed constantly. It's just, you know, people don't make a huge deal about it because it's not like their poster boy, right? Wukong. It's not their poster boy Warframe, and it's not their poster boy AOE weapons. Things are nerfed constantly in Warframe. Fucking constantly, guys. It's okay. Just calm down. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. We just know that they're aware that things are getting out of hand. So just, you know, just chill. Just chill a little bit, okay? So right now, people are just assuming way too much. Way too much. Now, instead of nerfing AoE, they should just buff single target weapons. Yeah, they're obviously should do that as well. There's such a high breadth of weapons in Warframe that it would take a while and take a lot of time for every like type of Warframe and every weapon to get buffed and reworked and changed around, right? You can't just fuck around every single time, right? And just be like, I'll give it like 10% every there. They could, but it might just make more work for them in the long run. But hey, the general idea is, yeah, they'll probably buff things when they nerf things as well, because AoE weapons are just insane. I think they should keep AoE weapons, just bump up MR needed to use them. AoE weapons aren't going anywhere. What do you mean I think they should keep AoE weapons? They're not getting deleted out of the game. They're staying in the game. They may just get some range decrease. They may get some damage decrease, crit decrease. You don't know for sure. It's possible that the highest offenders of AoE are gonna get more radial damage nerfs, more attack speed nerfs. Like, there could be anything. I don't know why people are thinking that the game is just gonna not have AoE weapons anymore. AoE weapons have always been decently good, decently bad, depending on the weapon. Some better, some worse. It's just we've gone to the point where there's just a lot of really good ones, and single target weapons these days just aren't quite doing enough single target damage to keep up. So they have to just look at numbers, mostly IMO, on single target to AoE weapons and how they interact, because yeah, single target weapons need to do either fast fire rates, a lot of damage, or both, and pretty much need both these days, because punch through can kind of suck because you're jumping all over the place, and if you're in the air, punch through is almost useless because you're shooting down. So punch through is not as good as it could be. It's decent depending on how you use it, but it's not as good as it could be. So you more so need single target weapons to just fuck them up with their bullets and have higher base everything. Because it doesn't make sense usually when an AoE weapon has a lot more higher base damage than a single target weapon, because obviously every single time you choose the AoE weapon, I'm gonna fucking choose an AoE weapon that'll do more damage with the bullet and with an AoE damage effect, right? Like, that's just a no-brainer. So obviously they'll have to look into that, but just remember, we don't know what type of nerfs there'll be. Only using melees. An absolute Chad. Absolute Chad. Right, so then, yeah, we have some people just yelling about stuff here and there, but all of it's generally just unconfirmed. We don't know what they may do. We just know they are aware. Buffs, yeah, we hope they will buff normal guns. And then, just like a couple hours, 2-3 hours ago from me posting my Wukong video, talking about, like, it looks like Wukong is going to get nerfed, people are also mad. people were also mad, but I wanted to go over a lot of the comments. Honestly, just move healing to Defier as exalted weapon instead. Having this movement is healing on same abilities, kind of OP. I still think they'll have to nerf a lot of damage numbers in general. Like, they'll just have to nerf numbers, right? It's the best thing you can do off the bat if you want to get a quicker hotfix out, is just nerf the numbers a little bit, see how the ability interacts in general, right? Because they could straight up put a duration on his 4th ability. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised his clone, his first ability. I'm kind of surprised they haven't put a duration on the clone, because the clone can be invincible when you use abilities, so I'm just kind of surprised by that, honestly. Maybe it's just me, but I'd like to actually see frames that actually kill with their abilities again. There are too many gimmicks, and yeah, I mean, sure, for Star Chart, and I mean, yeah, fair enough. Gyre Gyre's a good Warframe that like kills with a lot of abilities, right? Crit Electric. There's a lot of Warframes that are very ability dependent, and then there are other Warframes which are very ability passive dependent, right? You just throw your abilities on, and then you have a high duration, and you just keep using them. I use Protea. I use my fucking abilities 24/7, right? It depends on what type of Warframe you use. There are Warframes where you just activate all your passives, and then you just kill everything, right? So it's more dependent on what type of Warframe, right? Because if I'm playing Mirage Prime, right, I'm just throwing on my abilities and killing everything, because that's just how I play Mirage. I'm not using abilities constantly. I'm just using her as a duration Warframe, but duration strength Warframe, so I don't cast a lot. But it depends what you're looking for, right? There's a lot of Warframes at least, so that's always nice. I'd say massively reduces healing on 2, fair enough, I agree. Reduce clone damage, agree, but at the same time, buff his 4 to make it useful. They'd have to like reduce his clone a lot, healing a lot. They could also, again, throw duration on the clone. His 4 is not terrible though, that's the issue. People just think it's worse than it actually is. It's not absolutely useless. You can easily use it. It's a pretty decent ability overall. It's just like, yeah, or you can just use a melee. So they just maybe need to give his 4th ability a little little gimmick maybe? Maybe. Kind of like how Excalibur has his AOE Exalted Blade, and it does AOE blind if you slash, like control attack, you know, slash attack, call it what you will. So there's a lot of things they could do around that. And I do think it would be a decent idea to explore those options, okay? Even if he gets nerfed to an ant, still gonna use him. Hell yeah. Yeah, there's gonna still be tons of people using Wukong. I'll still use Wukong probably, because like, hey, I like his kit. Journey to the West Wukong, good Wukong. Those things about availability, Wukong is in the dojo, just buy build. Yeah, that is 100% true. Wukong is a very good Warframe, an insanely strong Warframe that you get very easily in the game. I would say he's one of the easiest Warframes to get, since it's just jump into a clan, and one of the strongest you can get. So it's like both best of both worlds, right? Easiest Warframe to obtain, strongest Warframe to obtain. Put that together and you just have fuck off high Warframe usage. Just okay, I'm so sorry you had to go through that with me. So yeah, first he was buffed and now he's gonna end up as a bottom tier frame again. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it's gonna go that far. The only way they can, I would say, make him a bottom tier frame is if they completely destroy his numbers. But man, Grendel's the lowest of the low, so I'm hoping they can buff him up too. He's a good meme frame. Wukong is too strong. More like he is fun to play. Yeah, he's fun to play because you literally turn off your brain for a lot of people. Like, that's why most people think he's great. You create a fucking clone of yourself. You're not playing him, you fuck. What do you mean he's fun to play? His first ability isn't you playing, it's you creating a goddamn AI that plays for you. But yes, his second ability is pretty great, okay? And his third ability, also pretty great. He is great to play, but one of his straight abilities is that you don't fucking play the game. So, you know, no, don't heart that. But yeah, no, I agree, it's fun to play, but one of his abilities is straight up you not playing. It just creates a clone that does everything for you. So he's a very sleeper frame, right? He's too good at everything. No, please God, I need Wukong. I'm nothing without him. No, this man's just memeing, so I'm gonna meme along with him. then maybe you were never anything to begin with. No. Ah, truly tragic. Truly tragic. Gotta give it to you, always meddling with things nobody asked for. Ah, okay. Yeah, people are always just gonna be mad whenever things they like get nerfed. Because, like, yeah, nobody's gonna ask for fucking game balance. People ask for game balance, but they don't actually ask for fucking game balance. You can tell it based on all these goddamn comments. People want game balance, but only in one direction. They don't want things to ever get weaker, they only want things to get stronger. Players are actively advocating for power creep, and they don't even fucking know. They just want everything to die instantly with the way they're advocating for everything, right? So it's like, DE is aware they have to combat the brain deadedness of certain community ideas and like thought processes. So they just have to take the hate from like the fucking idiots that sometimes think like this, right? Cause like, oh, apparently we can just buff everything forever and boo, and then we'll start buffing enemy health, and then oh my god, we'll get to the point where we're like we're like Diablo, right? We can have like 2.E9 to the power of 23 types damage scaling. Oh, it'll be perfect, right? No, you have to nerf everything and get everything in tune with each other, right? Like, fuck, Wukong's just way too overused. Way too overused. That's the regular gameplay of Warframe. You can do it with most of everything in Warframe, right? The real time you really have to like sit down and properly build and do things is usually Steel Path, because you don't want to die, and that, you know, makes sense. But I don't think people realize that Wukong's not going to get nerfed so hard that he's unplayable, most likely. The community just overreacts, IMO, and I will also yell with everyone. Well, it's not like it's a PvP game. Okay, apparently PvE games don't require balancing. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. You don't have to balance any PvE games. You don't have to do it. Just fucking eat numbers. Oh, why don't we release a new gun? Does 10,000 damage? AOE is 50 meters. No, obviously that'd be insane. So, yeah. Either way, a lot of anarchy. Why not buff the other frames in the game? I mean, that's the general idea. You buff the things that are so bad, and then you make the things that are so strong weaker. We went over that with talking about how Grendel was so weak, just not the main focus of the video. Yeah, so I think a lot of people just kind of blind themselves, they narrow down their vision, they only see nerf bad, nerf gonna make Wukong unplayable, gonna make Wukong terrible, but they don't realize that all the things that are always happening, like buffs for warframes, buffs for weapons, are happening, they just aren't paying attention to it when they happen half the time. So hey, things will get fixed up a little bit, things will get nerfed, things will get buffed, right? But sometimes it'll take some time. Don't overreact, and if this is akin to you just losing everything, then touch grass. Because that's not a healthy way to exist as a human being. This is a video game. It's literally a Warframe. It's it's just a game, and it's also not any sort of AOE or Wukong nerf that we know of yet, right? We don't actually know what the nerf is. People are just preemptively shitting their pants. And you don't want to preemptively shit your pants, because then you're gonna have to go throughout the day with shit in your pants. So don't do that, okay? I like talking about Warframe news, the upcoming nerfs and what's gonna happen, but doesn't mean you need to preemptively shat your pants. You can just, be like, okay, wonder what they're gonna do. We'll take a look, maybe throw some ideas out. A lot of comments these days though are pretty constructive, so that's fair. Most comments are constructive. It's just always the minority of like 10-20% of people who are pooping their pants, who are freaking out generally. So it's fair. It's fair. Either way, give it some time. We'll see what they finally decide to do with Wukong, with the general AOE meta, and all that. But until then, okay, subscribe, like, check me out, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, TikTok. I think that's everything. It's all in the description below. Follow, sub, like. Thank you. Cheers.